The whole Scooter Libby thing, there's a subtext to this, and not just the Scooter Libby part of it, the Karl Rove part of it, the subpoenas, the Harriet Myers, the Sarah Taylor, all this stuff. The subtext to it all is this idea of presidential privilege, of executive privilege. And I want to thank Tony. I don't know if he wants his last name mentioned on the air, so I'm not going to, but an attorney who sent me an email that got me digging into the Constitution, and I just find this fascinating. He points out that in the Constitution, Article 1 is about what the founders thought was the most important branch, the first among equals, the closest to the people, that is Congress, the House and Senate. Article 1 defines how the House and Senate is organized. Article 2 of the Constitution is about the executive branch, the presidency. And Article 3 is about the judicial branch, the judiciary. And interestingly, in Article 1, there is a very clear statement of what you would call privilege. And this is from Section 6 of Article 1 of the Constitution, talking about the House and Senate. The senators and representatives shall receive a compensation for their services to be ascertained by law and paid out by the Treasury. They shall, in all cases, except treason, felony, and breach of the peace, be privileged from arrest during their attendance at the session of their respective houses, and in going to and returning from the same, and for any speech or debate in either house, they shall not be questioned in any other place. Now, this is the basis of privilege for members of the House and Senate. In other words, they can't, because they're closest to the people, they have something like executive privilege. But as Tony, this attorney who sent me this note, pointed out, in Article 2, there is no such language. There's nothing in Article 2 that says that the president has a similar privilege. In fact, it says the opposite. Section 3 of Article 2, the part that defines the executive branch, says the president shall from time to time give to the Congress information of the State of the Union and recommend to their consideration such measures as he may judge necessary and expedient. He shall take care that the laws be faithfully executed and shall commission all the officers of the United States. That's Section 3 of Article 2. In other words, the president is like, he's got a job to do, but he's being held accountable. His job is to do what Congress tells him to do. I mean, if you want to say, Bush keeps saying, my job is to, protect the American people. My job is to, well, actually, your job is to faithfully execute the laws, and Congress makes the laws. So your job is to do what Congress tells you to do. And Tony says, one can argue, as I believe, that privacy, he goes on to talk about privacy as well, is a type of right envisioned by the framers of the Ninth Amendment, which provides the enumeration of the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage any others retained by the people. He says, this clearly states that the people retain rights other than those spelled out in the Constitution. In contrast, there's no constitutional provision from which it can be inferred that the president has unspecified rights or privileges. In other words, the Ninth Amendment doesn't say, the president holds additional powers. So he says the claim of executive privilege has been created out of thin air. And in fact, it was. It was created out of thin air by a Supreme Court decision some years ago, and I'm sorry I don't recall the specific decision. I'm sure I'll hear from many of our listeners about it. We've got some really smart folks. But he points out, he says, I find this really odd that conservatives, in quotes, want strict constructionists who are not going to legislate from the bench, and yet it was the judiciary system that created this idea of executive privilege for the president, which does not exist in the Constitution. It only exists in the Constitution for the House of Representatives and the Senate. But Bush is going to claim executive privilege. He's going to say that he can operate in the dark. He can close the doors and pull the curtains, and no problem.